Thank you for stopping to watch my video. This is a video about the Gaines Township Police Department's unlawful entry of a residence under the false pretense of a wellness check. Enjoy the video. As you can see by this video, there's the female Gaines Township officer with one of the firefighters pointing at my camera. She's getting ready to take down my plate number. Now this is a motion camera, so there are parts of time missing because of lack of motion that the camera was able to pick up. But at this point it shows her going up to the door, but then the video is going to cut out. Now at this point, if you look over above the van, they are in my house. They have the door open, they're in the house. At this point that I could count, there was 2 police officers and 1 firefighter in my house. Now 2 more are getting ready to enter my house. The whole time I'm in bed sleeping. I didn't fall asleep till about 5:30 a.m. I had noise canceling headphones on. So I'm not sure what they're doing in my house right now because they have not woken me up yet. I can only assume they're going through my house, my garage. There would be no reason for all them people to enter. I am also a high-risk patient due to my immune system. So everybody who entered my home was not wearing any personal protection equipment. And when confronted about the personal protection equipment, they said they didn't have to wear it because they have been tested. But if they're in contact with other residents, homes, people, stops, calls, they could be cross-contaminating or they could be sick already and not know it. So here comes one leaving my house. And the video is going to cut off here in a second. You can go to another little video. And there's another guy coming out the door there. So currently there's still 2 firefighters and 2 police officers in my house. Meanwhile, I'm still asleep in bed. This is one of the township firefighters. There's another guy leaving my house. No personal protection equipment on. And the one decides to enter back in, and the one in blue that walked up stayed just outside the door, but he did put a foot in and look around. So now we got some guy with a big old camera walking around, getting ready to take pictures. And again, unfortunately, because of the motion part on this camera, there is a scene coming up where it looks like he came out of my house, but I'm unable to tell because of the lack of motion. So the motion is going to trip again here. And now one of the firefighters is getting, those are floatable retainers. They clipped a few of them together to kind of hold the oil in one spot. Meanwhile, they've been in my house for a little while. There's still 3 firefighters and 2 police officers in my house. And at this point, I'm still asleep. So that guy walks in. So now there's 4 firefighters and 2 police officers in my house. And there's the guy after the motion walking away from what appears to be my garage door, but with the motion not picking up before he got past the car, I'm not unsure if he was in there taking pictures. And still at this point, I'm still asleep. Meanwhile, they just keep doing their job to, there was, by the time I woke up and was awake enough to look outside, there was like 4 fire trucks, a Genesee County hazmat truck, 2 Gaines Township cop cars, a Schwartz Creek cop car, and about 4 or 5 unmarked vehicles, and a couple Genesee County Road Commission trucks. There's another guy getting ready to enter, but I think he just pretty much stays in the doorway. And at this point, they have not made contact with me and woke me up yet. And it's a shame because I did have respect for the Gaines Township Police Department and the fire department, knowing a few people that work on our volunteer fire department. But at some point, somebody has to be held accountable for illegally entering my home. When I confronted the police chief, he said it was a wellness check, but they spent 20 minutes in my house without waking me up. So they were obviously searching around and looking at other stuff. They've all, pretty much looked at and pointed at cameras. I talked to most of my neighbors. None of them said they called. They all that I've talked to, except for the one to the north of me, said that police and fire never came over to talk to them. So this guy's in tennis shoes and shorts and supposedly working on some sort of hazardous scene. This is one of the parts that upset me, that they lied to me in the pretense. They pretty much demanded me to come outside, but I hadn't slept for about 30 to 36 hours. I fell asleep at 5:30 in the morning, and this is all happening around 12:30. So here comes another firefighter out of my house. Not sure if another one went in, that the motion cut out. So right now there would be 2 firefighters and 2 police officers still in my house. Now my property adjoins a neighbor to the north of me, and that property is an easement, but it always floods. So it always holds a lot of water. So the water's half on my property, half on the people just north of me. And typically that neighbor will pump the water out because he doesn't like his dog going in and getting wet. So I was also threatened by hazmat to contact my insurance company because there's going to be a bill. And what I don't get is the other neighbor who shares this wet area getting billed as well. Is he the one that called? I'm not sure. Mark, the chief, said he didn't know who called it in. He said, my neighbors complained. So again, they're still in my house. So before it gets to the end of the video, what it was is in that water was oil or substance or power steering fluid or hydraulic fluid floating in the water. So they buoyed it off to contain it. And then accused me of having a, because one of my neighbors, even though he said neighbors, my neighbors said I had an auto repair facility there. They asked me if I had an underground tank, and I told them no. And they're like, what do I have the hoist for? Because I have a hoist in my garage. And I didn't really want to answer any more of his questions because they were so ridiculous. And I wanted to go sit down. So I went and sat down on the stairs, and I couldn't stay outside any longer and ended up going back in eventually. I wasn't out very long. And you'll see me towards the end of this video. I'll be walking out of that garage door. I'm the only one with all white hair and wearing a white N95 mask. They literally came in, shook my bed to wake me up, didn't force me out of bed, but demanded that I come out. And as I was getting up, I'm just getting up from a sleep, and so the police chief and the woman officer are in my bedroom shaking my bed. I get up. They're like, are you dressed? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, we need you outside right now. And I'm like, I just got up. And yeah, we need you outside. And as we're walking out, the lady police officer said, oh, is this your ID? And went to grab my wallet. And I told her not to touch it. And then she's like, okay, you can go. And I'm like, no, you can leave first. Okay, here's somebody else leaving my garage. So that's Mark Spitzer, the police chief. This is right when I'm getting ready to walk out, because he walked out in front of me, and then the lady officer came out after. So they woke me up like a minute earlier than this part of the video, and I'm walking, getting my mask on, putting my shoes on, and I'm getting ready to walk out of the house for them to take me over to ask me the questions about the oil spill or whatever substance it is. You'll know when I'm out of the house because we close the door right behind me. And the only other time that door opened is when I went back in it. And nobody, after I was awake, came back into my house. Okay, here I am walking out. You can see my white hair, my N95 mask. That's the lady police officer behind me. I stopped there because I have issues with my feet, so I had to fix the shoes. And then that was pretty much it. You don't see me again in the video. I think it was completely unjustified. They illegally entered my home, not just 2 police officers, but 5 or 6 firefighters. They were in my house for at least 20 minutes before they woke me up and demanded I come outside. And then accused me of an auto part spilling the oil, and then tell me it's a wellness check. So thank you for watching. Okay, now this is at the point that I walked over and had to sit down. And one of the township guys, kind of keeping his distance, but I got my mask on at this point. Then I end up going from here into the house. and letting them know if they need anything, come knock on the front door. And so here's going to be some quick video of the vehicles that were there. Just some that I could pan the camera to. There's the police chief and one of the Gaines, or one of the hazmat guys. I think he was from Clio, but part of the Gaines or Genesee County hazmat. In this next video, I yell out to Mark, because this is where I want to confront him about them unlawfully entering my home and not wearing any personal protection equipment. His excuse at the end, at this point here, is when he said they entered the home for a wellness check because one of my neighbors said I was home. But they were in my house for 20 minutes before they decided to wake me up. Now here's where the Clio firefighter from the hazmat team goes and knocks on my door. The motion doesn't pick up me talking to him, but he's wearing a personal protection equipment. He just wanted to let me know that he needed the insurance, my homeowner's insurance information, to bill it. And that's, assuming that all the cleanup should go on me. Thank you for watching my video of the Gaines Township police officers and firefighters that unlawfully entered my property without my permission, and then at the end put it under the blanket of wellness check when they spent over 20 minutes in my house before attempting to wake me up. So just be careful in Gaines Township. Just remember, if your door is unlocked, they'll enter without a warrant, without cause, without anything else, and then they'll spend time in your house before they wake you up.